Hi there. I have a question to ask you. Are you using AI for research or for any daily processing by which you have to gather information on a daily or weekly basis? And are you using AI to get smarter? Well, that's what I'm going to cover right now. But for those who don't know me, my name is Kimberly Inez Mays. I teach mission driven people how to use AI without the hype, without the manipulation, and without the bro marketer nonsense so you can have more aha moments and fewer headaches. Now let's get into it. So, why I decided to make this particular recording was because I want to show you two simple use cases that you can do in as little as 15 or 10 minutes, even. And the reason why I like to show simple things is number one, it's easier to demo. And then number two, I feel like it's just easier to implement, right? Because so often we have these big plans like, oh, I'm going to make this big agent that does all these wonderful things. Great. But then we start building something and then we get distracted. We're like, ooh, squirrel, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. And then we just end up with nothing after a long period of time. So I just want to create something short, simple, and sweet so that I can get it done in under 15 minutes or so recording it and showing it to you, and that you can actually go and do it yourself. And I'm going to use two tools to do it. The first tool being Manus, and then the second tool being Claude Cowork. And I know what you're thinking, right? Some of you may come to me and say, Kim, how come you didn't do it in XYZ ABC 123? Well, I can't use all of the tools all of the time. And because the video would be so long if I showed you everything. And the idea is not to show you every permutation of every tool that can do a thing. If you've been following me for some time, you know that I'm pretty much tool agnostic, which means that I show you the concept, I show you the application, and I show you the mindset. So you can start thinking, and then you can say, hey, how do I apply this to the tech stack that I already have so that I can use what I already have to do things that I did not know that I can do? So that is the premise and purpose of this video. All right. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen with you right now. And so if you look over here, I'm pointing because I got a second monitor going on. This is Manus. So Manus is what is Manus? Manus is so many things. And sometimes when you're asked to define something, you're like, wow, what is Manus? But Manus is an autonomous general purpose AI agent designed to execute multi-step digital workflows from start to finish. So pretty much it's smart, it's cool, you should use it if you're not using it. But if you are curious, you can sign up to it. I believe that you get some workflows for free or some free credits. It's a credit-based system, actually. I have one, I have a little bit, I have like 11,000 credits. It's a credit-based system. They're pretty generous for the free plan. You can try it out for free if you run out of credits and you want to sample it some more. This is my trick. I sign up for things and then I immediately cancel. So then you have 30 days to play, right? So let's get started with Manus. So what do I use Manus and other things for? I use it for building websites, slides. It's pretty much what it says here. I built some apps with it. I design, I build a lot of things, and it can connect to a lot of your applications. So if you're not using a product that can connect to your applications, your Gmail, your email, your Gmail email, your calendar, some of your other tools, maybe Slack or whatever the case, whatever you're using, right? If you're not using these that have MCP connectors or connections that are embedded with it, you're really, really missing out. And I'm not the kind of person that introduces FOMO, but I will say that you're kind of missing out just a little bit. So why am I showing you this use case right now? Well, I know that data aggregation is something that's really big, especially within nonprofits, especially within small service-based businesses, people who are subject matter experts on a fast-moving topic, such as myself, an AI practitioner. I need to keep on top of like new rules and regulations as it pertains to governance and releases and frontier models and some of the things that I need to keep up with myself. But I know some other people too that, need to keep up with the latest and greatest things that are happening in the news. For example, maybe they are a coach, maybe they want to keep up with current events. I don't know, whatever the case may be for you. Or if you're a nonprofit and you're looking for like new grants and new opportunities that have opened, right? You can use this to kind of help you do a little bit of searching, and so that you can find some of these opportunities that you might have otherwise missed. And you can have somebody do the work every single day, but then that's time taken out of the somebody else's time. So with that said, let me just show you. So like direct your eyeballs over here, and then I'm going to show you. So I am going to, when I run something automatic, I like to first test out the actual prompt itself just to make sure I'm getting the output that I want before I go ahead and schedule it. So I'm going to say scan the major tech news and official policies pages. I'm just going to put just paste it in so that you can see what I'm actually going to type. So scan the major tech news and official policy pages from OpenAI, Anthropic, Claude, Meta from the past 24 hours. Identify exactly 3 updates focused strictly on AI governance, safety frameworks, compliance, or model alignment protocols. Summarize each into 2 bullets, the policy governance change made and its impact on users and developers. And then I'll put, please link to the source for each one. So what I'm doing is I'm not only telling it to give me a list of links, but I'm telling it to also think about some of the use cases for it or why I would care about it, right? And I can put more parameters on it. This one says from the past 24 hours. If I was doing some other research and I said, well, I only want it from, what's that tech magazine, or some tech magazines or tech publications, right? I may not want it from some random like Reddit like URL. I may say that. I might give it some more specificity of like what I'm looking for, but and for a demo, I think this is fine. I'm going to run it. And then while this is running, I'm going to pause and we'll be back once it stops thinking. But you can see that it's using the thinking model and it's using Manus 6.1 is the versatile agent capable for most tasks. It kind of sits in the middle here. They have a light one that uses fewer credits. I probably should have did that for the demo. And then they have the max too. So you get to decide what model you use for your daily runs. Just keep in mind if you're using something like this, or if you're using Claude, for example, if you're using one of the higher models, you're going to run out of credits or run out of tokens a lot faster. So then that does eat into what you might want to do with it later that day. So for things that are more surface level, you may want to bump down a model or two just to kind of see. So that's why I'm running it first, so we can kind of see what our outputs are before we commit to this every single day and use up credits. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, through the magic of editing, I am back. So let's see what we got. So we got this lovely document, Major AI Governance and Safety Updates past 24 hours. So we have the scrapping of the White House AI Cybersecurity Executive Order. We have Anthropic Project Glasswing and Claude Mythos preview. Impact on developers and users, policy and governance change. I'm not going to really read all of these, but we have a couple, and here are the references. So we can link to the references, or we can click on it rather to kind of read, just because we definitely, if we're going to take action on it, we want to read. I did not really specify how I wanted it laid out specifically, but I could have done that too. I could have said, okay, I want the links to look this way, the the outputs look this way, the bullet points look that way. I didn't do that because I didn't really care too much, but I like it. The prompt's okay. So this is cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and then you see this thing, this little hourglass, or not hourglass, sorry, this little time. So if I go to new schedule, you can put AI governance news and then daily at 8. And then you can have some of your options here. Remember, I told you that you can choose which model you want to run. So I'm going to do light because I want to just do it fast for the video. You can have it run in a project folder if you want to use projects for like shared file, shared context. So let's just say we want to run it in the same task. The connectors, I'm gonna get into a little bit later in a second, but let's just save it. So now we have that saved. We have a list of tasks that we have. So AI governance news, let's close this one. This one I have running, but let's just say run now, right? So I'm running it. I chose the light model, so you can see it running. So I will scan the latest. So this is duplicative because I just ran it and I'm running it again, but albeit in the lighter model. So I just want to show you that you can run your task again if you want to. You can run it manually, or you can just wait for the next run. You can do something like that. Now, here is the icing on the cake, right? So let's say we run this. Cool. And you're like, well, Kim, I got to log into Manus to see the AI news or my scheduled thing every single day. No, you don't. Remember I told you that you can connect your applications to this tool. So let me see what I have configured, because I just do stuff, right? And I'm just like, I don't remember what I got configured, what I got going on. But let's just see integrations, right? Let's see, what do I have? Oh, it's actually in here, right? Connect apps. So my apps are in here. Sorry, my apps are in here. So I have Canva connected, GitHub. I don't have Gmail connected in this chat. I have Calendar. I have Gemini. So I can use Gemini, I can use Nano Banana. I have a couple of other things too, but I can close them off so I don't have to use these connections. You can add connections as well. So let's see. We have a lot to choose from, right? So like I said, whatever is in your tech stack and whatever you fancy. I know a lot of teams use Slack. I don't use Slack, but you can use Slack. I think, do they have Discord? I don't think they have Discord, but they have might be some other channels too, some other Slack-like things. So let's say you want to now send a Slack message with everything, right? So you click Slack. If I click Slack, I don't have a Slack account because I don't use Slack. But what I may do is I may pause this so I can connect. No, actually, I have Gmail connected already. So I'm going to have this email to myself. So, if you want a daily digest email to yourself, you can do that. You can also connect it to Zapier or Zapier. I call it Zapier. It's Zapier, right? Zapier. You can connect it to a lot of other things too. You can also connect it to custom MCPs. If you know how to do it, great. If you don't, I'm not covering it here, maybe one day. You can connect it to custom APIs like 11 Labs. That's just voice. OpenAI, I have it connected to. Perplexity, I have not. I'm not a Perplexity anymore. Anthropic, I should connect to Anthropic because I do use Claude quite a bit, but I digress. So let's see. Let's see if it finished running. So it's still thinking. It's still thinking. Okay, it stopped thinking. So now we have everything here. And so, all right, it pretty much gave us about the same things. It gave us a little bit less. One thing about AI systems or AI in general, especially generative AI, is that it's non-deterministic. So even if you have the same prompt and you run it like one after the other, the same exact prompt, you're not going to get the same exact thing because that's not how AI works. But we got pretty much the same thing. We got the White House AI executive order. We didn't get this one, and so we didn't get this one. So okay, but we got something, right? So if I had chosen a higher model and maybe more parameters on specific topics that I was interested in getting a digest from, then I probably would have gotten a better result. But then again, this is a demo, so I am going to pause, and then I'm going to be back to show you how I am going to connect it to Gmail. Okay, so the reason why I did a little pause is because it took a while to run and I had to attend to some Kenzo situations. But what I did, and I'll show you what I did in a second, is I edited the schedule. I said to use Gmail to send to Kim at KimberlyInesMays.com. And what it did, you see this thing down here? It's connected. Gmail is connected, right? And it may take some setup time at first. So that's why I always like to run it at least once and then kind of monitor it so that I can see if it's doing the things that I want it to do. So what it did is it ran everything. And remember, it's non-deterministic. So it didn't give me the first results as when I tested it, but it ran it, and what it did is it sent this to my email. So what it's going to do now, frequency at 9 a.m., it says it's going to scan OpenAI, Anthropic, Claude, and Meta for the latest AI governance, safety, and compliance updates, summarize the top 3 with their impacts, and email the report to Kimberly. And then the integration is the Gmail connector is enabled and configured to handle these automated runs. You can manage or schedule this at any time. So this is the result, right? And I just ran it. And I don't think I'm going to quite run it again because it doesn't really make sense unless you want to see the actual email itself, which I can show you real quick. I don't know if you can see this, but it did send me, ooh, yeah, it did send me the email with all of the links. I can format this a little better. It gave it to me in markdown format, but the idea is not to give you like a super perfect like rendition of it, just to demo that the kinds of things you can do. So it doesn't have to be an email. It can be a Slack message. It can be a report. It can be a PDF. It can go on your Google Drive if you want to collect like information about a thing, right? Let's say if you just want to learn about a particular topic, a fast-moving topic that's happening day over day, you can absolutely do this and you can automate any search you want. So let me put it into a more practical use case for a nonprofit. Let's say you're looking for grants, you're looking for opportunities. Maybe you're looking for things that you can apply to. You can run this every single day and you can then determine, okay, you can you can modify the prompt to say, hey, look for this that meets this criteria and give me the deadline, give me the things that they're looking for, and then maybe the probability of actually getting awarded the money. So those are the types of things you can do. I hope I am inspiring you. So this is just one thing that you can do, and this is in Manus. Remember, I told you I show you 2 tools. This is Manus. So Manus is great because Manus is all cloud-based. Well, I haven't tried their desktop app yet, and don't come at me if I didn't try your favorite thing. Remember, it's just the concept I'm teaching you, not the tool. But this is cloud-based. I'm going to show you something that runs on your actual computer, and that is called Claude Cowork. So Claude Cowork runs locally and has direct access to your file directories. These ideas focus on manipulating your local environment based on, you know, whatever you prompt it to do. So it's a little bit different. You have to have your machine turned on. So for that reason, I kind of like something that's a little bit more cloud-based, like Manus, just because, you know, for whatever reason, I close my laptop, I open my laptop. I do have a desktop, but it's not always on. And I have my own personal my own personal preferences, and you might have yours, but tomato tomato, I'm showing you 2 options. So let me load up Claude Desktop or Claude Cowork right now. So to use Claude Cowork, you have to download the desktop version of Claude, and I do believe you have to be a paid subscriber. I don't know if you get it for free or you get much for free. I have to do a think on that. But nonetheless, we're going to spin and we're going to take it for a ride. So let's direct your attention over to here. Don't mind the mess on the side. I just do a lot of things. So anyways, we're going to try that same prompt. So let me find where that prompt was so I can go ahead and copy it. Okay. All right. All right, so let me copy that. And let me just take it out of this project. So I have a couple of projects. Let's just put it in this project. And so right now your project can be tied to a particular folder on your computer. I have a couple of projects that I'm doing. I have a book project. Let me disconnect this one. Come on, disconnect. You can do it. Hang on. It's being goofy. Give me 1 second. All right, I just created a project called demo because I should have probably done that on camera because I mounted it to a folder on my desktop called demo. And what that's going to do is be able to read and write from that folder, which is really cool too. So right now, let's just do the prompt. So, oops, I should put search. So I'm not going to read this because I already read it to you so many times. So I'm just going to have it run a little bit. And we're just going to do that first prompt without any scheduling, without any automation, just to make sure it's retrieving the information back that I want. I realize this does lengthen the video a little bit, but it's okay. What I like about this one too is I can really see like the sources it's pulling, which wasn't something that I could really see in Manus. So is the transparency is really cool to me. Today, as of this recording, yeah, I can see some stuff. It's pulling from May. It's pulling from Meta. It's pulling from Gemini. Let's see. Okay. And, while it's thinking, I'm talking, right? So take a sip of water. Okay. So cool. Here we go. Google just had their I/O conference. So here's some top 5 frontier developments. And I think I used a different prompt because I didn't use governance. Oh well. Actually, let's see. I apologize. I wanted to use this one. So let's do it again. Scan, because I want to use the same one that I did in Manus. So in preparing for this video, I prepared 2 prompts. One was more tech focused and one was more like governance focused. And I decided to go with the more governance focus for my mission-driven nonprofit audiences, more so for people who are practitioners. So that's why I'm using another prompt instead of the first one that I used. So let's just use this one. Okay, so we have the EU AI Omnibus. The Act Omnibus. We have U.S. government press release, and it gives the date. FTC begins enforcing the Take It Down Act. So here's some sources here, and we have the impact to developers, why it matters. So we can really, in the prompt itself, we can really specify how we want this data to be retrieved. But for purpose of demonstration, I won't do that. So all right, so now let's say now we want to schedule it, right? So we can say we want to create a new task, create with Claude or set up manually. Let's create with Claude. Yay. So it says, I want to create a scheduled task, briefly explain how scheduled tasks work, blah, blah, blah. All right, so if you click create with Claude, this is what it's going to give you. So schedule tasks, let me work on your behalf. What do you want to automate? Research briefing. So this one really takes you through, which is what I like about Cowork too. How often should it run? Where should I deliver the output? Look, it shows you. Email me, save to a file, update tool. Let's do save to a file because we're doing the file. So let's see. Where should the briefing be about? So let's paste in the prompt. What time of day? Let's say the morning. Okay. So now it's really walking you through. So why did I prompt this a bunch of times only to click the scheduler? Well, I wanted to see how it would come out first before I schedule it. That's just my preference. You do you. So now it's creating the scheduled task. You can see it creating. So it's saying, okay, so now I can schedule it every day. It says, here's what's configured, daily AI governance briefing. One thing to do first, hit run now from the scheduled selection. Schedule section in the sidebar. This lets you pre-approve any tool permissions, so future runs won't pause waiting. First file lands tomorrow morning. So if we go to scheduled, if we go to here, And then they said go to run now. So now we can make sure that this runs because we always want to run now. So we can make sure this runs and we can view it to make sure it's working the way we want. So it's doing some tool calling, searching the web. And I can also do an email like I promised, but for right now, I'm going to just have it saved to a file. You can see as long as the computer is awake, we can have this run every single day. And you notice there's models right here. I can't change it once the session's started, but in Claude, you have Sonnet, you have Opus, and you have Haiku. Sonnet sits in the middle. So Sonnet's kind of like the default. If you use Opus, it's smarter, it takes longer, but it uses more tokens. Your usage is going to run out very, very quickly if you use Opus for everything. And then at the bottom is Sonnet, good for things like, oh, I need a quick Excel formula or quick, fix up the grammar in this thing. But for anything that has to do with something that's like a little bit more analytical, like scan this article, read this thing, or it has a shorter context window as well. So I rarely use it. I use kind of Sonnet as my default. So I talk over this a lot. So we can kind of see. And this is with the pauses too. So let's see. It says, now I have enough to complete the briefing, write the file. It says writing a file, and then it's going to paste it for me. All right. Depending on how long this takes, I may or may not edit it out. We'll see. Because I know you just don't want to watch me drink water. And you can use this for a lot of things too. You can use it to search your emails. You can use it to do a lot of things. You can use it to add things to your calendar, all sorts of stuff, right? With these connectors, it's just amazing. So briefing saved, files written to the outputs folder, notice the target path, points to different, saves the sessions output folder instead. So let's see where's the working folder that it's saving to. Because again, I kind of did this really fast. So it's saving it to the local folder. I can have it saved to another folder. So let's do that. Let's do that instead. Let me mount the right folder and get back to you. 1 second. Okay, so I just edited it. So I mounted it to the folder that I just created called the demo folder. So it's the demo folder. And then I'm using Haiku, and then I'm just going to have act without asking, where it's not going to interrupt me so much. Claude can ask more on my behalf. And then I'm just going to click run now. My cat is getting restless, and then I'm just going to do it again. So because I clicked Haiku, it's going to go really, really, really fast, right? So just because this is a demo, and just because I don't want to use up my tokens and my usage, I am going to just kind of use the cheap model to speed through. But if I need to act on this information, I probably would use Sonnet. So here we go, spinning, spinning, thinking, thinking, thinking. And then we're going to then get it to paste to our thing. So let's good luck. And yes, we are in the same chat, so it is compacting our conversation. It's summarizing it so that we can keep it going. That's the thing with doing demonstrations. Sometimes things take a little bit longer. So it's like a cooking show where they have the dish already ready to show you. So it's like the magic of TV. Here you go. Here's the finished product. So I'm baking it as we go along. So that's why we are waiting and talking and watching at the same time. But the nice thing is that once you set this up just once, you can set it and forget it, right? So it created the file, and it created a file. And let's see, view your briefing. So here's the file, show in folder. Ta-da! So here is the file in the folder, right? So pretend like this went to Slack, pretend that this went to Gmail, right? I can have a folder full of like information and sources and links. You can have a folder full of like potential grant opportunities. You can have a folder full of things, projects that need to be done that day. You can have that sent to your email. You can have that sent to your, put on your calendar. You can have that scheduled somewhere, right? You're not limited to the things that I personally showed you and connected to, but you can do so much, right? You're only limited by your imagination. I know that sounds cliche and corny, but you can really do it. So now let me land the plane because I showed you two things and I've talked long enough. I showed you Manus and I showed you Claude Cowork. So whatever your fancy, just pick one. And if you want to pick something else, do that because there are other products that do some phenomenal things too. I didn't touch on Codex, but I like Codex as well. You can use whatever you want to use. But the thing is to get started, do something simple, do something small, and get back some time in your day and do something smart, okay? So that's all I got to say about that for now. Talked long enough, but hope you got some value out of it. If you did, please like and share because sharing is caring, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye for now. Bye.